Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you to my backyard underneath the canopy where it's a little bit cooler than being out there in the sunlight. Still waiting for Hurricane Ida to make her way up. And let me tell you, the humidity has amped up. Well, with that being said, today we went down to Vinetopia, done a little bit of harvesting. The raccoons have pretty much destroyed most of Vinetopia. They even ate my acorn squash that wasn't even ripe. But with that being said, I found a watermelon that they had kind of attacked, but it's not ripe. Even though it's not ripe on the inside, I can still rescue the rind. And yes, that means watermelon rind pickle, southern style. So what we're going to do is get started on this. You want to make sure that you scoop all of the red insides out. Now, unfortunately, if this was a ripe watermelon, I would have ate all the insides out instead of, unfortunately, wasting it. But that's okay. I'm still going to make pickles with it one way or another. Alright, I'll bring you back as soon as I get it scooped out. Okay, like I said, I'm not used to videoing myself. I got to rolling after I got it fairly scooped out, and then I realized, oh no, I need to cut the camera on. Okay, once you get them scooped out really good, you want to try to get as much of the red off of the rind and like I said, with this one not being completely ripe, there's going to be some, you got to look for soft spots and cut that off, because you don't want soft rind. Let's see, I've already got some big pieces done, and once you get your red cut off, then the fun part comes where you have to be really careful, because watermelons aren't like they used to be where they had a real thick, nice rind. They're all little bitty and skinny, and you're going to have to be very careful to cut this green rind off, because you don't want the skin. You just want this strip of rind. Like I said, you just keep trimming to get as much of that red off. Like I said, this is an immature watermelon, so it's going to have some softer spots. You're just going to trim that off. I'm trying not to cut too much, because each time I cut, my rind shrinks, and I want some pickles. And no, they're not, go on mosquito, they're not like dill pickles. They're more of a sweet, spicy, not as hot, but as seasoning, spicy wonderfulness from the south. It's just like if you eat a watermelon, don't throw your rind away. Save that rind. 'Cause believe me, it's amazing. It just takes a while to get it all done. Okay, once I get both these halves of watermelon done, I'll bring you back to show you about taking the the outer skin off. Okay, I have all of it done now. Now, when you're cleaning your rind, if you're blessed to have chickens or hogs, they will love you for those scraps. Now, the outer skin definitely needs to go in the compost pile because it's too hard for the chickens to eat. But what you're going to do, and as usual, this is a southern recipe, so it's a labor of love recipe. Alright, you want to go make about 1-inch strips. And of course, they don't have to be perfectly measured out. Now you can, let's make sure you can see, you can trim them this way if you want to, or if you have a good paring knife. The good thing, this is a younger watermelon. I just hate that it got wasted, and at least I'm going to be able to use the rind. And see, you want the outer skin completely gone, and you're just going to cut them up into about 1 by 1 cubes, something like that. It don't have to be perfect, but you don't want them too small but not too large. Yeah, I know, I make it really easy on you. And you're just going to keep peeling the outer skin off, and try to make sure you keep as much rind as possible on them. Because after all, it is the rind that you're making the pickles out of, and the more you cut off is the less pickle that you get. Okay, I'm going to continue until I get all of the rind done. Like I said, labor of love recipe, and I'll bring you back as soon as I'm done with all of it. Okay, I have it finally all cubed up, and it looks like I'm racing against time. Looks like some rain is coming. The first outer bands of Ida is on its way. Alright, in my pot here is 2 quarts of Berkey filtered water. Now, you can use purified water, you can use filtered raw water. I don't like using tap water because it has chlorine and fluoride in, which can make soggy pickles. So, I've got 2 quarts of water here. Now, you can use canning salt, you can use pink salt, you can use whichever salt you like, but you want to make sure it does not have iodine in it, because it will not work well with your pickles. And you want don't have a heart attack, about a half a cup. And of course, I usually rinse my hand off because my hand is clean. What this is a brine to pull the juice out of your watermelon rind. So you're going to want it salty. And of course, give it a good stir. All the salt might not dissolve, that's fine. You just want to try to get as much salt dissolved as possible. And it's cold water. You want cold water. Now my recipe that I use, let me take that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I usually try to use like a 10-pound watermelon. I usually shoot for bigger, but it'll be plenty. And like I said, I have all my rind cut up and cubed up. Don't waste none of it. You're going to stir it up. Oh, a seed. I mean, it's not going to hurt nothing. Now, what you're going to want to do, and of course I forgot to grab one, but I've got to go back in the house anyway. You're going to want to put a plate over this and weight the plate down so that your watermelon rind stays under the brine. What it's doing is it's going to pull all the moisture out of your rind, and you're going to let it sit at room temperature overnight. Depends on how long your overnight is. Could be 6, 8, 12 hours, either or. Oh yeah, that's good and salty, just like you want. And I know I'm probably going to have another watermelon to do, because I have a pretty bad feeling that once this rain comes through, it's going to split. Now, I'm just setting the lid on it for now. I will put a plate on it here after a while and weight it down, because you want your rind underneath the water level. Now, don't be surprised in the morning if your water level increases quite a bit. That's fine. That's all the water coming out of your rind. And I will bring you back tomorrow once this has soaked long enough, if we don't get blown away. Because it's looking pretty dark back towards the south, and I know this is only the beginning. This is the outer bands coming in. And I will bring you back in the morning, and we'll get started on our watermelon rind pickles. See you in the morning. Sleep well. Good morning, everyone. I am trying to play Beat the Storm getting here. It's next morning, and what I have done is drained the brine off of my watermelon pickles very well and washed them under cold water. And I rinsed out my pot as well. Put my watermelon pickle rind, well, my watermelon rind back into the pot and have covered it with cold water. And I'm going to bring it up to a simmer, and I'm going to let it simmer for almost an hour, or until the rind is all tender. And I'll bring you back as soon as that is done. Okay, my watermelon rind is cooked and ready to start making the pickles. My pan has been there. They've already been drained, and now we're going to start making the actual pickling liquid. Okay, and for the brine, you want 3 cups of sugar. I have used, because I'm not a big fan of cloves, I've used about a half a teaspoon of cloves, a half a teaspoon of really good Jamaican allspice, a big heaping tablespoon of cinnamon, and a little over a quarter of a cup of fresh grated ginger, because I like the allspice, the ginger, and the cinnamon. I think I've just been burnt out on nutmeg. Okay, you're going to want 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, and of course I swirl that around to make sure that I get all the sugars out. Two cups of good cold water, and of course I'm using Berkey water. You can use filtered or purified water, either or. Oh, that tastes good. Now, a lot of times I have to just cook with what I have. I usually use a whole lemon sliced in half and very thinly sliced. Of course, remove the seeds, and I would put those lemon pieces in here. I don't have a whole lemon, so I'm going to go with lemon concentrate. But sometimes you just have to use what you have on hand. And that should be about enough of the juice of one large lemon. We're going to bring this up to a simmer to make sure that all the sugar gets dissolved. Now, of course, if you want to, you can use powdered ginger. Oh my gracious. You have to be careful, that vinegar will get you. It's not that strong. But when those vapors go up the back of your throat, they'll get you every time. But it's not strong on vinegar. This brine is slightly sweet, a little bit vinegary. Okay, sorry about the noise. Apparently the rain has really started up. Alright, now that the brine is mixed all up and your cubes of watermelon rind is in the pot, you're going to bring it up to simmer, and you're going to cook these until your watermelon rind is transparent. And I will bring you back for that, because it depends on the watermelon, so there's no real set time for it. But as soon as they get transparent, I'll bring you back, and then there'll be time to can them up. See you after a while. Okay, now it's time to jar up the watermelon rind pickles. They have cooked till they're almost translucent. It's not as big of a batch as I'm used to, but some batch is better than no batch. Now my jar is just hot out of the water, and you're going to want to have your water bath canner ready. Now unfortunately I still have not found my funnel, so we're just going to wing it. I don't know why anybody would think it would be okay to steal a funnel, but the way people are anymore, you never know. And you're going to want an inch head space, and of course you're going to want to debubble. And you're going to want to watch out for the fumes from the vinegar. But this is an old-fashioned Southern recipe, and I will have the recipe in the description box below. And since I don't have a funnel at the moment to use, and it's syrup, so you're definitely going to want to use paper towel or dish towel dipped in vinegar to wipe your rim. Whew. I gotta be careful about being downwind of the fumes. Okay, there's one. Ooh, put that jar down. I'm gonna have to get me another funnel. I just don't understand why anybody would steal a canning funnel. Because I know these people around here don't can. Of course, debubble. Uh-oh. Put your ginger in. Don't leave no ginger behind. That jar is hot. And see what I'm saying? I knew not having a funnel to use was gonna be a pain. I'm gonna continue to can these up and pause it so that y'all don't have to keep listening to the sirens. I'll be back as soon as these are ready to go in the canner. Okay, I'm fixing to put them in the water bath canner. I ended up with 3 beautiful pints. I'm hoping you can see them. Let's see. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful Southern watermelon rind pickles. I have about a pint of mostly brine and a few pieces of watermelon rind pickles left over. Okay, it's in about 1.5 to 2 inches of underwater. I'm going to bring it up to a boil and let it water bath can for 10 minutes. And I'll bring you back as soon as they are finished. Starting to hear a little lightning and a little thunder in the background rolling. They are done water bath canning for 10 minutes, and I'll let them sit for 2, so let's get them out of the pot. And there we have it. I have 3 pint jars for the pantry shelf. Let's see. Let's see if y'all can get a good look at them. Beautiful, beautiful Southern watermelon rind pickles. And leave it up to me to do canning in a tropical storm. I guess, not that I was trying, but I can take that off my bucket list now. Canning in a tropical depression or tropical storm. but I wanted to make sure that they got used and they weren't wasted. Now I do have 1 pint left that wasn't enough to really can. They're still warm as can be. But that is the beauty of a watermelon rind pickle. A little vinegary, a little sweet, perfect balance. I am so happy to have these back on my shelf again. It's been a while. Now, if you have any leftover brine from making your watermelon rind pickles, you can let it cool, pour it into a jar, and store it in your refrigerator until you make your next batch. Wonderful, wonderful. And that way, none of the watermelon goes to waste at all. Simple, easy. I hope you find this recipe encouraging to you to try as well. Now, also know this. These are not like pickles you're used to. These are pickled watermelon rinds. They are not going to be crunchy like Clausen pickles or anything like that. These are just a sweet treat to go on the side. I've ate them on the side with beans before, greens. They've been on like cheese and cracker trays. They're just wonderful. You'll find a way to use them. I hope you find this video encouraging and encourages you to make you some as well. Please click the bell notification, click the like and subscribe button, there we go, so that you'll be notified now, so you can come along on other adventures. I'm tired, it's been a long, long morning. So you can come on other adventures of canning, herbology, being self-sufficient, prepping, you name it. Now, click the bell notification so you'll be notified when I upload another video. Also, please, if you enjoyed this video, definitely share it far and wide so others can watch these videos and learn from them as well. Everyone, take care. Please be safe in the pathway of these storms. They're nothing to play with. Take care, be safe and sound, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed.